Okay, so I'm on my allotment this morning. I know some of you may not have known that I have an allotment. For my international followers, an allotment is a sort of a community garden space that you can rent a little plot from, and you can grow vegetables and stuff. So this is sorrel. I think it's the French sorrel, and just to give an example of how it's a perennial, and basically these leaves kind of give you your salads like a lemon kind of zing, you know. So you can throw it on burgers, you can do whatever you want with it really. You can make a sorrel soup, you know. Anyway, it's a very good perennial, so that means you plant it once and it kind of like lives for years and years and years. This one's probably like 2 years old, the other ones I have are like 3 years old. And anyway, we just had snow 3-4 days ago. The snow settled for about 2-3 days, and look at this, still fine. We have had a mild winter, but just as an example, this plant kind of is just available all year round as a salad. So you can throw that in your garden if you don't have a place to actually grow vegetables. You can grow it kind of like, you know, grow it amongst your ornamentals and just make, you know, just pretend it's an ornamental. Another thing, plantain. So this is just self-seeded here because I actually grew some in a wildflower patch for bees and stuff. And plantain is good for healing. So you can actually make your own natural balms and stuff for healing your skin, cuts, bites, things like that. And this is still hanging on as well, so I'm going to actually try a harvest. I've got quite a few here. I'm going to try and harvest quite a few of these leaves. And it's a perennial as well. Perennial, it might be a biennial, which means that biennial means it dies after 2 years. So its life cycle is 2 years. That means like first year might just grow foliage, second year might go to seed, and then by third year it's dead, or should be dead. Cool. So what I'm going to do today is I've actually been harvesting fatwood at a site nearby, and I'll show you that harvest. And I'm going to spark up the Lixada folding hinge folding stove right now, and get myself a little bit of a brew going on. And just got to do some work here because I haven't been on this site for like since October. It's insane. It's already February. All my gear's got all the sawdust shavings off of it because I brought the big rucksack. Cycled on the way to the allotment. I went off, did a detour, grabbed a bunch of fatwood, and yeah, gonna make a bit of a brew now. Everything's like full of all the dust because I stored all the wood. That's a parakeet over there. Stored all the wood in the bag on top of everything. But a little tip for people who aren't used to making campfires and stuff. I've now realized it's best to, especially if you're working with stick stoves, I think it's best to put your water in and get your cup near the fire. Especially like if you're going to be multitasking, so if you're going to be cooking and then having a brew at the end, that metal will absorb heat anyway, so it'll start warming the water up so that the water itself will boil a lot quicker when you finally put it on the fire. Now in today's case it's not really that imperative because all I'm doing is making the fire to put this on there. That's all I'm doing. Whereas if I'm cooking something and I've got limited wood, put that guy next to there, get your fire started. Let's say you're waiting for the wood to become ambers before you put your food on, which is quite often the case. You don't want that huge flame like burning the pot and destroying your pot more or less, because it's cooking the food and burning it into the bottom of your pot, then at least while you're waiting for that to happen, or let's say you do already have something on you, you can have this guy next to it anyway, getting some of that heat in there to warm the water up, so once it goes on, like I said before, it'll cook a lot quicker, boil a lot quicker, because you often find with stick stoves, if you're not watching it, if you're playing with the camera, you're walking around, you're doing something else, you look at it and suddenly it's like, oh shit, you know, there's the embers are almost dead and you have to go look for more wood, throw that on. So it's like, yeah, so just use up all the space, use up all the heat. So there's some of today's haul. It's the biggest guy. You can see it is quite resinous in there. It's an old dead branch that I chopped off, so I'll have to process this pretty well and see what I can get out of here that's usable in terms of fatwood and fire lighting. That's that side. You can still see quite a bit in here, so this will be a very nice kindling. There's a lot by the where all the little branches came off of that guy. That's the next piece, hardly any in there, except for that part. So this is just good for firewood. And that's the next piece up, nothing really. Pretty good one there. And I came across, I think it's a Scots pine, I could be wrong. A little one. And quite a few of the pieces that I cut off were really, really thick and really. Yeah, not that one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's alright. It's okay. Yeah, look at those. Stick autofocus on. So that's what I got today. That's pretty nice stuff. The rest will, you know, I'll shave it up, see what's in it, and then mainly use it for firewood. Look at that. Ooh, it's going to burn so well. Nice fat wood there. Quite a lot of powdered, dried resin all in the edges. It's almost like I shouldn't really get rid of this and just let it dry up, because this bark must burn pretty well as well. Just it's green in some places, so I don't want to get the tops off, you know. Look how red it is inside. It's like, wow. Look at that. Woo. Fatwood. Getting off on fatwood. Only on YouTube. I'm sure Ray Mears got off on fatwood the first time he processed a really, really deep maroon red piece. The sounds I'm hearing from this, I can't explain it, but it's like a scraping into something that's extremely solidified. That's when you know you got a lot of fat wood in there. When you're sawing and it goes like, no, normal sawing noise like vroom, 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 then you don't have much fat wood in there. But when it's like then you're eating through something. I can't explain the sound, but I just need to put my finger on what I can give as an example. But it's when you hear that, you know, when you finally pop that little branch off the tree, you're going to see some seriously deep red, almost black looking maroon color. Just wanted to say something really quickly about wood preservation. So preserving wood, what I mean by that is not burning the wrong wood for the wrong event. So if you're just going to go out quickly into the bush and you just want to make up a quick cup of coffee and talk to the camera and do your thing, then use pine, because A, burns extremely high heat and it burns really quickly. So you'll get the boiling point a little bit quicker, and at the same time you'll also obviously you'll get ashes way quicker than the other way. So for example, if you had some oak, you'd have coal for much longer and you'd be waiting a really long time for that fire to die down for you to be able to process that into the ground and do your leave no trace method thing. So use the right wood species for the right situation. Don't go burning seasoned oak when you're just going into the bush to make a quick fire. Save that for a wild camp or a proper cooking session. It's quite rotten over there, so I'm just trying to figure out how far I can go to get the dry wood. I'm already there. It's good. Nice. It's been raining all of yesterday, so most of the stuff is quite wet. But in this case, I don't care how much smoke I make today, because I'm on my allotment, and we're allowed to do bonfires and stuff here. Yeah. Let me show you a quick technique. If you're into stealth camping and stealth bushcrafting, hammering it like this makes quite a big noise compared to taking you can take a small one and just do that. Ooh, look what I found. My favorite two little turds. So I think I've only got 3 of these left, and then I've got to go back to the Oriental supermarket place to buy more. So it's like, do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I save them for a wild camp? I'll see when the water boils. I'll decide, because I've got some hot chocolate, but normally I prefer to mix a little bit of hot chocolate and then mostly cocoa powder with this, and then powdered milk. We'll see how I feel, because I can't always get time to go to those supermarkets. They're a bit out of my way. Fresh hot chocolate on the allotment. You can't beat hot chocolate made on a fire. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. I need it, man. Really good. And I'm only using powdered milk, so when you go ahead and use real milk, it's just like, wow, it's awesome.